what if the ultimate modern dream, working yourself to the bone for 40 years just to cross that magical finish line of retirement, is actually a biological death sentence?
So we really might be.
Right. Today, we are looking at the hard data from an island where the concept of doing nothing isn't a reward. It's literally viewed as fatal.
Yeah, it is a total paradigm shift. I mean, when we talk about longevity in the West, we're almost always talking about medical intervention.
Popping pills, getting hooked up to machines, that sort of thing.
Exactly. We picture advanced pharmaceuticals, sterile hospitals, and all this machinery extending our biological clock. But the sources we are looking at today reveal something far more provocative.
I am so ready for this.
We are examining this deeply spiritual, incredibly practical philosophy where longevity isn't actually the goal.
Wait, longevity isn't the goal?
Not at all. Loneliness and stagnation are the enemies. Living to 100 is really just the accidental side effect of a life perfectly engineered for daily joy.
That is just so fascinating. And that is exactly our mission for this deep dive. We are unpacking the factual, verified insights from the culture of Okinawa, Japan.
Yes.
But, I want to be clear, we're not doing a travelogue here. We are taking this Okinawan lifestyle and using it as a mirror to interrogate our own hyper-busy, constantly exhausted, scrolling in the dark modern lives.
Which, let's be honest, we all do too much of.
Oh, totally. The goal is to extract the actual mechanisms, the real practical steps that you can steal right now to inject some real presence into your Tuesday.
Which means we really need to start by erasing the caricature of Japan that most people hold in their minds right now.
Okay, what do you mean by that?
Well, to understand how the Okinawans pull off this incredible feat of human thriving, you have to realize that their environment is completely divorced from the high-tech hustle culture we normally associate with that part of the world.
Right, because when I say Japan, I guarantee your brain immediately conjures up the internet's Japan.
Oh, absolutely.
You see that crazy neon intersection in Shibuya. You picture a landscape of endless skyscrapers, brightly lit vending machines on every corner, and like a bullet train zipping you across the country at 200 miles an hour.
Super efficient, fast, and intensely modern.
Exact.
But Okinawa is not Tokyo.
Yeah.
Geographically and culturally, it is a completely different world. It's a subtropical chain of islands sitting roughly halfway between the Japanese mainland and Taiwan.
Subtropical, so we're talking beaches.
Yeah, you are looking at turquoise waters, dense jungles, and incredibly humid, warm weather. Historically, the people of Okinawa, the Ryukyuan people, were actually an independent kingdom.
Oh, wow, I didn't know that.
Yeah, they had their own unique language, their own belief systems, and a totally distinct way of interacting with the world long before Japan annexed the islands in the late 19th century.
Okay, so we aren't looking at corporate boardrooms or tech billionaires for this wisdom.
No, not at all.
We are looking at farming communities, small fishing villages, and centenarians who have lived through unimaginable historical shifts. We're looking at like 100-year-old grandmothers who are still, right this minute, out in their gardens pulling weeds and cooking their own meals from scratch every single day.
Exactly. And that active daily engagement with the physical world is the first major clue to their longevity. They haven't engineered all the physical effort out of their lives.
Okay, hold on. I need to push back here for a second.
Sure, go for it.
Because I completely get the romantic appeal of a peaceful grandmother carefully chopping organic vegetables in a sunlit kitchen. It sounds beautiful.
It does.
But let's be real about the listener's life, or my life for that matter. After a 10-hour corporate shift, when I've been staring at spreadsheets until my eyes literally cross, dealing with 3 different time zones and navigating crazy office politics, my microwave is the only thing keeping my sanity intact.
I hear you.
Like, are you seriously suggesting we need to abandon modern convenience, toss the microwave, and churn our own butter if we want to live a long life?
Okay, no. I am definitely not suggesting you churn your own butter.
Thank goodness.
But I am asking you to look at the difference between mindless drudgery and intentional friction.
Intentional friction. What's that?
Well, we have spent the last 50 years building a society designed to remove all physical friction from our lives. We outsource our cooking to a delivery app, our movement to an electric scooter, and our problem-solving to artificial intelligence.
Which feels amazing, by the way.
It does feel amazing, but we are obsessed with shortcuts because we think saving time equals saving our energy. But biological systems just don't work that way.
What do you mean? Like, if I save 30 minutes by not cooking, I have 30 minutes more to rest on the couch. How is that bad for my biology?
Because of how your nervous system and your brain interpret that rest.
Okay.
When that 100-year-old Okinawan grandmother cooks her meal, she is moving her body in dozens of complex ways. She is engaging her fine motor skills to chop. She's using her sensory system to smell the ingredients. She is actively participating in her own survival. When you outsource all of that and spend your saved 30 minutes sitting perfectly still, staring at a screen, your body receives a biological signal.
What signal?
A signal that your physical engagement with the world is no longer necessary. We confuse convenience with living. But biologically, removing all friction essentially tells your brain that it can start powering down the machinery.
Oh, wow. Okay, that is fascinating. So the spreadsheet fries my brain emotionally, but because my body did literally nothing but sit in an ergonomic chair, my biological machinery is effectively rusting from disuse.
Precisely. You're rusting. And this stark contrast isn't just an interesting philosophical debate. It has created a measurable statistical anomaly that scientists have been studying for decades now.
Which brings us to the hard data, because this isn't folklore, this is epidemiology.
Exactly.
Okinawa is designated as one of the world's 5 blue zones. For anyone who hasn't heard that term, it was popularized by Dan Buettner. He's a researcher who identified the 5 places globally where people live the longest, healthiest lives.
Right, you have places like Sardinia in Italy, Nicoya in Costa Rica, but Okinawa is really the crown jewel, especially for women.
They historically boast the highest life expectancy on Earth.
Yeah.
But the crucial metric here isn't simply the length of their lives, it's the quality.
100%. These people are not extending their lives by lying in a hospital bed, being fed through a tube, and kept alive by a ventilator in some care facility.
They're out there living.
They are highly active, they are deeply social, and they remain fiercely purposeful well into their 90s and hundreds.
And this is exactly where their lifestyle totally shatters our Western script. Because think about our ultimate financial and cultural goal. It's retirement.
Oh, yeah, the golden years.
We treat retirement like the Holy Grail. You grind, you save, you stress, you miss your kids' soccer games, all to build this 401k so that one day you can reach this magical finish line and just stop.
Stop everything.
Yeah, we treat retirement like sitting in a waiting room. You sit down, you pick up a magazine, you just wait for the end.
Which is an evolutionary mismatch of the highest order.
Really?
Yes. The human body and the human brain are simply not designed for stagnant isolation. The concept of retirement, of abruptly stopping your life's work and severing your daily responsibilities, it doesn't even exist in the traditional Okinawan dialect.
That is wild. They don't even have a word for it.
Because to them, stopping your daily activities would literally feel like a kind of death.
But let's break down the science of that. Why is doing nothing so objectively dangerous?
It comes down to biological signaling and cognitive reserve.
Okay, unpack that for me.
When you have a complex daily routine that requires you to solve small problems, interact with others, and move your body, your brain is forced to maintain dense neural pathways. Think of it like a bustling city grid.
Okay, I like that analogy.
Traffic is flowing, so the roads are constantly being kept paved and repaired by the city workers. The moment you retire and sit in that metaphorical waiting room, the brain looks at those complex neural roads and says, well, we aren't using these anymore. Let's stop spending energy maintaining them. And this is exactly when cognitive decline accelerates. It is macro-level atrophy.
So we are literally telling our biology that we are obsolete. Wow.
We really are.
If stopping is a biological death sentence, then what is the engine keeping these Okinawans moving every single day? Because, let's be real, nobody wakes up at 96 years old eager to weed a garden just for the thrill of pulling weeds.
Right, there has to be a deeply ingrained psychological battery pack.
Exactly. What is it?
There is one, and the sources point to a tiny, incredibly powerful cultural concept called Ikigai.
Ikigai. I've seen that word floating around.
Yeah, it's getting popular. Roughly translated, Iki means life, and Gai means value or worth. So your reason for being.
Now, I want to be very careful here, because the moment we say reason for being in English, the Western listener's brain immediately goes to the self-help aisle of a bookstore.
Oh, absolutely.
We hear purpose, and we picture this majestic sunrise. We picture climbing the corporate ladder, founding a massive tech startup, or leaving behind a multi-million-dollar legacy. We turn purpose into this massive, heavy boulder that we have to carry up a mountain.
Yes, because the Western interpretation of purpose is deeply tied to capitalism and ego.
Exactly.
It is almost always tied to economic output or being the absolute best in the world at something. But the Okinawan Ikigai is completely different. It is intensely, beautifully ordinary.
I love that. Give me an example. What does an actual real-world Ikigai look like for an Okinawan elder?
Well, it could be the fact that she has a great-granddaughter who she reads to every single afternoon.
Oh, that's so sweet.
Or it could be his responsibility to catch a specific type of fish for the neighborhood festival. Or it might simply be that they have a regular Tuesday tea scheduled with their friends and they are the one responsible for brewing it.
That's it, just brewing tea.
That's it. An ikigai is a tangible, deeply personal anchor to the present moment. And crucially, it cannot be taken away by a mandatory retirement age or an economic downturn.
See, this is exactly where we get so lost. We tie our entire identity to our job titles.
We really do.
You know, we say, I am a marketing director, I am a software engineer. And the moment that external title is stripped away, whether you get laid off or you retire, your kids grow up and leave the house, you experience a total psychological collapse.
Yeah, you lose your center.
You literally don't know who you are anymore because you build your foundation on leased land.
Exactly. When your purpose is tied to an external title, you are incredibly fragile. But an ikigai is an internal locus of control. And biologically, having this small daily purpose acts as a powerful buffer against what scientists call allostatic load.
Allostatic load.
Yeah, it's basically the cumulative wear and tear of chronic stress on the body.
Wait. Explain how having a small purpose lowers my physical stress. Like, how does brewing tea actually protect my cells?
Because it grounds your nervous system. Think about the typical modern morning routine right now. The alarm goes off. Before your eyes are even fully adjusted to the light, what do? You reach for your smartphone.
Oh, guilty. Every morning.
You are immediately flooded with stressful work emails, terrifying global news, and social media comparison. Within 60 seconds of waking up, your amygdala is firing, your cortisol levels are spiking, and your body is in a state of high alert.
You're in fight or flight in bed.
Exactly.
Yeah.
You are starting your day reacting to external threats.
That is painfully accurate.
Yeah.
You are in a frantic scramble of survival before your feet even hit the floor.
And it's the exact polar opposite of Ikigai.
So for the person listening to us right now who still has a mortgage and a highly stressful corporate job, how do they actually build an Ikigai? Because we can't all just quit and move to a subtropical island.
No, you don't have to. You build it by reclaiming the very first moments of your day.
Reclaiming the morning.
Yes. You have to introduce that intentional friction we talked about earlier. You carve out a tiny, non-negotiable window of time, maybe just 5 or 10 minutes, that belongs entirely to you before the digital world is allowed to demand your attention.
So no phones. But what are we actually doing with those 5 minutes? Just like staring at a wall?
No, you tie it to a physical action.
Like what?
For example, you decide that your very first act of the day is to water a specific plant on your windowsill. Now, the magic isn't in the water or the dirt. The magic is in the intention.
Being present with it.
Yes. You notice the soil. You feel the temperature of the water. You watch how the leaves react. Or say you brew a cup of coffee, but instead of hitting a button on a machine and walking away to brush your teeth, you actually use a French press.
Oh, the friction.
Exactly. You grind the beans, you smell the aroma, you feel the resistance of the press.
I see. I was going to say, watering a plant sounds almost ridiculously small to be a reason for being, but you're saying it's not about the plant.
Right.
It's about training your brain to realize that your life has intrinsic value in this very exact second, regardless of how many emails you answer later that day.
Exactly. It's an anchor. You are signaling to your biology, I am safe, I am present, and I am choosing my first action. It radically lowers your morning cortisol spike, setting a completely different biological baseline for the rest of your day.
It's like building a little fortress of presence around the first 10 minutes of your morning. I love that.
It's incredibly protective.
But here is the catch. You can't just water your plant, lower your cortisol, and then hide in a cave for the rest of your life.
No, definitely not.
The source material makes it abundantly clear that an Ikigai does not survive in isolation. The reason these daily habits stick for 90 years is because they are anchored by a community that flat out refuses to let them do it alone.
Right.
Which brings us to the most vital concept in this entire deep dive, the Moai.
The Moai is the social infrastructure of longevity, and it is the ultimate antidote to the devastating digital friendship crisis we are living through right now.
Okay, tell me everything. What exactly is a Moai?
A moai is a social contract, typically formed in childhood or early adulthood, where a small circle of friends, usually about 5 people, commit to being in each other's lives permanently.
Permanently. Like not just, hey, we should catch up sometime when work slows down.
No, no. It is a lifelong, active commitment. They meet regularly. They pool their money to create a safety net. So if someone's harvest fails or they fall on hard times, the group supports them financially.
Wow, financially too.
Yes, they support each other emotionally through the grief of losing spouses and socially by simply being a constant, unwavering presence. There are recorded moais in Okinawa that have been meeting for over 90 years.
90 years of the exact same people showing up for each other week after week. That honestly blows my mind.
It's beautiful, isn't it?
It really is. Because if you look at our modern social lives, it is almost a dark comedy. We genuinely believe that staying in touch means double tapping someone's photo on Instagram or sending a fire emoji to their story.
Yeah, that's the extent of it for a lot of people.
We have 500 connections on LinkedIn, but nobody to call if we have a flat tire at 2 in the morning.
And that illusion of connection is having a catastrophic impact on our biology.
How bad is it?
Well, to understand why we must build a moai, we have to look at the terrifying health data regarding modern isolation. The research consistently shows that chronic loneliness is as deadly to your physical body as smoking 15 cigarettes a day.
Okay, stop. Wait, 15 cigarettes.
15 a day.
I need you to explain exactly how that is possible. How does feeling lonely cause the same cellular damage as inhaling carcinogenic smoke from 15 cigarettes? That sounds like pure hyperbole.
I know it does, but it's not hyperbole. It is evolutionary biology.
Okay, walk me through it.
For hundreds of thousands of years of human history, to be separated from your tribe meant certain death. You could not survive on the savannah alone.
Right, a lion would just eat you.
Exactly. So your nervous system evolved to treat isolation as an acute, life-threatening emergency. When you lack a permanent, secure social safety net, a moai, your brain essentially operates as if a predator is constantly circling you.
Oh my gosh, so your body goes into chronic fight or flight mode.
Exactly. Your nervous system is like a car alarm that has been triggered and just won't turn off.
That sounds exhausting.
It is. It floods your body with stress hormones. That chronic low-grade stress causes systemic inflammation, which damages your blood vessels, raises your blood pressure, and decimates your immune system over time.
Wow.
The physiological wear and tear of that constant car alarm is the equivalent of smoking 15 cigarettes a day. Your body literally breaks down from the perceived threat of being alone.
That is chilling. So when you don't have a moai, your body is slowly destroying itself out of panic.
Pretty much.
But I have to represent the modern listener here.
Yeah.
How on earth do we build a 90-year moai today?
It takes work.
Right, because we live in an economic system that literally demands we uproot our lives. We move cities every 4 years for promotion. We are constantly exhausted. Spontaneous plans never happen anymore.
They really don't.
Like, let's grab drinks sometime translates perfectly to, I will literally never see you again. How do we actually build this?
You have to radically shift your behavior from passive digital connection to active structural commitment.
Structural commit, okay.
You have to stop relying on spontaneous plans because, as you just said, the friction of modern life will always cancel a spontaneous plan. To build a modern moai, you have to create a recurring structure and treat it with the same reverence you treat a professional obligation.
So put it on the calendar in ink?
Yes,
Yeah.
in ink. You gather 3 or 4 friends and you establish a non-negotiable anchor.
Give me some examples.
Maybe it is a standing phone call every Sunday morning at 9 a.m., no matter what city you live in. Maybe it is a Thursday night dinner where everyone brings one ingredient so no one is stressed about hosting a perfect meal.
I like that. It lowers the bar.
Exactly. The specific activity doesn't matter. The structure is what matters. You make an agreement. No one is allowed to cancel unless it is a true medical emergency.
Wow, hardcore.
It has to be.
Yeah.
You build a structure so robust that it holds you up even on the weeks when you are too tired to hold yourself up.
I love that. You are engineering the friction out of seeing your friends and engineering the intention in.
That's a great way to put it.
You are choosing depth over breadth.
Yeah.
You don't need 500 acquaintances to like your post. You need 4 people who will immediately notice if you don't show up on a Tuesday.
Which perfectly synthesizes everything we've explored from Okinawa today. From the intentional friction of the kitchen, the biological necessity of staying active, the quiet power of your morning Ikigai, to the life-saving structure of the moai.
It really all connects.
It does. It all culminates in one deeply practical lesson, and that lesson is Find your Tuesday.
Find your Tuesday. Let's unpack exactly what that phrase means.
Find your Tuesday means protecting that small, recurring, completely ordinary ritual that anchors you to your present life.
Yeah.
It is the Tuesday tea with your Moai. It is the morning ritual of feeling the French press. It is the anchor. You have to find it, and more importantly, you have to ruthlessly defend it.
Ruthlessly defend it.
You cannot let your corporate ambition, your exhaustion, or the endless life admin of adulthood eat your Tuesday. It is sacred.
It is sacred because it is actual life. It isn't a stepping stone to something better. And I think that's why Find Your Tuesday hits so hard. Because we treat our lives like a dress rehearsal.
We really do. We're always waiting.
We say, once I get this promotion, then I'll have time to relax. Once the kids are out of the house, then I'll start hosting dinners with friends. Once I retire, then I will finally start doing the things that bring me joy.
It's a tragedy, honestly.
It is. We are constantly, tragically postponing our presence. The Okinawans are practically shouting at us across the ocean, stop waiting. Your life isn't happening in the future. Your real life is the totally ordinary Tuesday happening right in front of you right now.
And that is the ultimate antidote to modern burnout. Burnout doesn't just happen because we work too many hours. Burnout happens because we exhaust ourselves chasing a future horizon that constantly recedes.
Like running on a treadmill.
Exactly. Energy, vitality, and true longevity happen when you find deep, abiding value in the present moment, surrounded by people who know you deeply.
So as we wrap up this deep dive, I want to leave you with one final provocative thought to mull over as you go about the rest of your day.
Go for it.
We've talked about the biology of loneliness. We've unpacked the power of an Ikigai and a Moai. But I want you to reconsider the ultimate goal you've been taught to strive for.
It requires questioning the very foundation of how we structure our decades.
Exactly. What if the entire modern concept of retirement, this deeply ingrained idea that you must sacrifice your physical health, your peace of mind, and your daily joy right now, just to earn the right to finally rest decades in the future, what if that isn't a reward at all? What if it is actually a biological trap? What if true longevity isn't something you can purchase with a massive 401k or a luxury care home? What if it is simply the natural, inevitable side effect of refusing to postpone your joy? Imagine waking up tomorrow, not as someone grinding away for a distance someday, but as someone who already has exactly where to be, exactly what to do, and a Moai of people to be it for.
I love that.
Imagine being the person who simply forgets to die because you were just too busy living your Tuesday.